Hi everybody. In this video I wanted to talk about how I customize some of my McFarlane DC Multiverse action figures. So I'm just showing you the two latest additions to the collection are the two Lex Luthor figures. I just posted a video with this figure, the Lex Luthor as Darkseid figure in his Superman power suit. And I am definitely going to be customizing this figure, and I'm going to talk more about that in a second here. The classic green and purple power suit Lex Luthor, I think, looks great. I'm not crazy about the side-eye head sculpt, which I think pretty much everybody, every collector of these figures have said that they're not a big fan of this side-eye thing. I think the side-eye look kind of works for Lex, but I'm not sure about some of the other figures that have been shown. And then what I did is obviously I put him on an old flight stand. This is a really old flight stand, but it's working still. And I gave him a lightning effect from a Power Ranger Lightning Collection figure to make it kind of look like he's blasting out a blast of kryptonite. So this figure is great. I like him on the flight stand because he's a little bit too tall. I don't like the idea of Lex Luthor being taller than, you know, Superman and Batman, even if he is wearing his suit, his battle suit, I guess you should call it. But yeah, so I'm just going to kind of leave him on the flight stand, kind of fighting with Superman here, and I think that that will be how he looks the best. So as far as this Superman figure goes, I've had some people ask me about how I go about customizing these figures. So for this figure, this is mostly the newest version of Superman from McFarlane Toys, which is the Rebirth Superman. But if you notice, he doesn't look like the Rebirth Superman anymore, because what I did is I removed his legs, I swapped out the briefs, and I painted over those red lines. Now, if you look real close, you can see the difference in the blue, but you have to look really, really close to notice that. And then, of course, I also painted the boots, which they still need another coat, but I figured good enough for this video. So I think that this Superman looks great. Just a little bit of work, a little bit of paint, and he's perfect. He's a perfect classic looking Superman. And, you know, this is definitely the one I like the best. The very first Superman that they released, which was, I guess they were calling it Action Comics number 1000, which was just a very, very classic looking Superman. I love that figure as well. I have that one on my shelf, and I think it's great. It's just, you know, the cape is a little bit big and bulky, and just the body of the figure is just a little kind of disproportionate, a little odd. So I think this new release of the Rebirth Superman is fantastic. I just turned it into, you know, a classic Superman. So also in one of my previous videos, I showed this Bizarro figure, which is the Rebirth Bizarro figure. And this one was an even easier customized job, because all I did with this Bizarro figure was pop his legs off, and then I took the trunks or the shorts from the infected Superman figure and swapped those out. So this one, I didn't even have to paint anything on this figure, because these shorts match really, really close with the red in the backwards S and the red in the cape. So yeah, it was a really easy custom. So what I have kind of left over is this kind of monstrosity, which I'm still doing stuff to, okay? So this is actually the body of the Red Sun Superman figure, which you can tell because of the emblem there. So I have the Red Sun figure. I'm a huge fan of the Red Sun figure. I showed that in a previous video when I showed the Superman and the Bizarro. So this is a different one, okay? So this is one that I was going to try to make either a couple different versions of Bizarro or Ultraman, and I ended up kind of scrapping it. I did make an Ultraman custom figure. That's in my other video. So what I've done with this one is, this is, again, like I said, the leftovers. So if you look here, these are actually the trunks or the shorts from the Rebirth Superman figure, which is this one over here. And I think I'm going to try to turn this into a Kingdom Come Superman. It's going to take a lot of work. You can see I've already painted the blue and the red, because again, this was the Red Sun Superman, so this was all just kind of that gray color. So I painted this blue and red. Obviously going to work on these. But yeah, so what I want to do is I want to show how you can go about doing what I've done here. So if you just split the legs and you look in there, you can actually see how easy it is to take off, because it's already like kind of popping off. So what you would do is you just simply take a small flathead screwdriver and you would put it in here. You can see this one's already just literally has popped right off. That's how easy it is. So you can put the flathead screwdriver right here, if you guys can see that, and you just kind of carefully pry it off. It's hard to do from this angle. But yeah, you can, might be a little too thick, but yeah, so you can pry it off and it will eventually, see if I can just get it with my nail since it's kind of loosened. It will eventually just kind of pop right off. There we go. All right. So you see how easy it is to take those legs off. And then the shorts, the briefs, they just slide right off. And then you're left with what looks like this. So then what you can do is you can paint the legs separately. You can switch out the briefs. And, you know, I think a lot of times it's easier to paint if you take the legs off and you take the shorts off and then you do all the painting, let the paint dry. I use just the acrylic paint from the craft section at Walmart. So really cheap, easy to get paints. And again, that's how I did this. So the Bizarro figure, again, I just took the Rebirth Bizarro. You can see it's all the same kind of legs. So you can see the leg joint in there. You just take a small flathead screwdriver and you just put it in between that seam, pop the legs off. The legs will pop right off pretty easily. Just don't obviously want to do it too hard or you'll break it. And then I just, like I said, I put the shorts of the infected Superman figure onto the Rebirth Bizarro, put the shorts on, put the legs back on, and voila, a classic Bizarro figure. For the Rebirth Superman, again, same thing. I don't really want to take him off the flight stand because I haven't posed really good. Just split the legs apart, put the screwdriver in there, pull the legs off, and then these are the briefs from the Red Sun Superman. So I just painted these. So I painted this red, I painted this yellow, I painted the boots red. I want to say the red that matched, I want to say it was apple red. I think it's red apple. Yeah, so it's a red apple acrylic paint. And the red really matches really well with the cape and the S. I mean, you know, I think it matches really good. So this one was a little bit more work because I had to paint quite a bit of it. But now with the Darkseid Lex Luthor figure, you can see same exact leg joints, Same exact type of shorts or briefs. So to customize this one, you would just do the same thing again. You put a small flathead screwdriver right in between there. And again, sometimes they're so loose, you can even just do it with your fingernail. You can just get your fingernail in there and just kind of work it and it'll pop off. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to break it. But I think for this figure, the plans that I have for this figure, I'm going to keep that a secret for now, and then I'll do a video later once the custom figure is all done. But I think my plans for this figure, I may not even have to take the legs apart. I don't know yet. I'm going to see. Sometimes it's easier to just take the legs apart in order to do all the painting, but I think what I'm planning, I might be able to keep this figure intact and then just paint it. The head sculpt, that's going to be a problem because this is going to have to come off. And the McFarlane figures, their heads usually, yeah, pop off real easy. It's just when they pop off, and I didn't heat this up or anything, but the ball joint usually stays on the head. A lot of other figures, like Marvel Legends figures, the ball joint will stay in there and just the head by itself will pop off. So you can't really swap out McFarlane DC figures with like Marvel Select or Lightning Collection figures. It just doesn't work because of the type of ball joint that it is. But if you do a McFarlane to a McFarlane, that'll work. So yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this head sculpt, this like Lex Luthor Dark Side hybrid thing. I don't know what I'm doing with this yet. I have plans for this figure. It's going to take some doing, but I'm hoping it works out pretty well. And then I got to find a head for it, which is going to be a challenge. But yeah, so that's how I customize the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. It's actually pretty easy. I've got other videos with some other custom figures. They were quite a bit more work, honestly. So I hope this video helps some of you figure out different ways of customizing your figures. I do like the McFarlane DC figures. I think they're a little bit too big. They don't really scale with anything else, but you know, what can you do? I mean, it's kind of what we have right now. But I definitely pick and choose the characters and the figures that I like. But as you can see, I've been turning the more modern, you know, the New 52 or Dark Metal or whatever versions, the Rebirth versions, I've been turning those into the more classic versions that I really like the best, because I don't know if McFarlane Toys are going to make the more classic looking versions of the DC heroes that I like, or I should say DC characters. But yeah, I've just been turning them into the more classic versions that I enjoy, and it hasn't been that hard. So hopefully you guys will have the same, you know, type of luck as I've had with creating some of these custom figures that you prefer. Thanks for watching.